morning guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you enjoy this video. I basically asked you guys on Instagram for some help. We always see these videos from flight attendants saying what passengers do that is a bit annoying, or that is our pet peeve, or so on and so forth. But I thought I would turn things around this time and ask you guys what it is that flight attendants tend to do that annoy you as a passenger. So I got a lot of really good input from you guys, and I just wanted to go through it. Let's get into this. First one says, when they don't greet you when you get on the plane and they're having their own conversation. Yo, that happens. I'm not too sure how I should be responding to any of these. This is a bit awkward because I know I've done that before and I feel really bad about it, but I've never done it when passengers are getting on. But when they're getting off, sometimes like the pilot comes out and he asks me a question or whatever, so I get distracted with him and I forget to like actually say goodbye to the passengers, so I miss a few people. So the next one, when you're packing things away right after the announcements for descent and they're on you like a hawk telling you to do what you're doing. That's so true. I'm one of those people that is like right there. Like as soon as we're like on descent or on final approach and that announcement is playing, I'm basically already ready to go. When they talk loudly in the galley. I feel like we're all guilty of this though, because for some reason the engine noise or just like the sound of like the plane moving or something is so much louder in the galleys, like you don't even realize. Like we can barely hear each other when we're standing in the galley, so we always like, you kind of don't realize it when you start like screaming across at the person, and other times you do. So you just like, nowadays we just go and we just like sit right next to each other, or we stand right next to each other and we're like, yeah, so this and this and this happened. But yeah, like you tend to forget sometimes. It depends like how into it the conversation you are and stuff like that. But I'm sorry if it bothers you, I'll try to do it less. There was this one time a flight attendant kept giggling while she was announcing things on the intercom, and she was mumbling at times as well, so I couldn't hear anything between the giggles and mumbling. Oh, I'm not the one that makes announcements because I am not the senior. In a multi-crew situation, I'm not the senior. At my old company, I was the only flight attendant on board, so I had to make the announcements, but there was never a reason for me to be like laughing while making an announcement. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. I think people just get caught up in their conversation. Maybe the person that the senior is flying with has just made a really funny joke and she's just thinking about it and she doesn't realize that she's I don't know, guys, I don't know, this is so awkward. I think what annoys me the most is when air hostesses don't put effort into their appearance. It's so apparent. I say this because it's expected that they take pride in their appearance. It's something that all passengers have become accustomed to, that the air hostesses always look good. It's just an unwritten rule that we've all come to know and love. They don't have to be drop dead gorgeous or anything, but just take pride in their general appearance and ensure that your hair, nails, makeup and attire are up to scratch. Surely you know this comes with the job's territory and this is what is expected of you. Don't you own a brush and hairband? That was a lot. Oh, that was so much. Oh my word. Okay, so we all know I'm not the greatest at my makeup skills, but I do try to be neat with everything else. Like I try to make sure my hair is neat, I try to make sure that like I don't look scruffy at all. But I have seen some flight attendants. I don't know, you guys, I don't know. But at least with my airline, during our briefings, actually the senior just like checks our appearance and stuff, and if she says that like, if she sees that like your hair is a little scruffy or whatever, she'll ask you to like tie it up a little bit neater. She'll ask you to like put it in a bun or whatever the case is. So if you are looking a little scruffy, the senior has every right to say, hey, tuck your shirt in, or hey, do this, do that, just so that we can all have like a good appearance as a team. So yeah, I don't know about other people, but I know I try to look as neat as possible. Andrew says, they don't really annoy me, they're only doing their job, only the rude ones get on my nerves. Yeah, yeah, sometimes the flight attendants can be a little bit rude, and I've seen it happen before. I think everybody just has their bad days, and they are only human, and they can only handle certain things in a certain way. But at the end of the day, at the same time, like, you know, you're at work, so you can also say like you shouldn't bring your problems to work. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the boss here, guys. I don't know. It's just one of those things that happens to people with feelings. I don't think it's okay for flight attendants to just have an attitude with everyone for no reason, but I do understand it if I'm like working with someone and they just had a really bad day. Then usually that's when I try to just like take over a little bit more, or do a little bit more for them, so that they don't have to necessarily like interact with people as much if they're going through something. So I think that's where the teamwork comes in, not only in just your onboard duties, but also paying attention to see that your teammate, your crew member, if they're not feeling okay, or if they just got some really bad news but they still have to operate this flight back home or whatever, like, are you willing to, like, you know, go that extra mile just to make sure that they are okay and they get a little bit of time to deal with whatever they're dealing with, you know? Stuff like that happens. Keegan said, not serving alcohol on morning flights. He said that as if he even likes alcohol. Anyway, so we do serve alcohol on morning flights because we are a low-cost airline, so we sell everything. So when people want to buy a beer at 6 o'clock in the morning, no judgment, bro, we're gonna give you that beer. I'm not too sure which airlines don't serve alcohol on morning flights, and if they don't, it's probably, yeah, it's probably just the time, and they're trying to avoid giving people too much alcohol too early in the day. And even with us, if you want to buy alcohol, we do want to sell it to you, it's fine, but it's also only if it's appropriate, you know. If you're already drunk, or if you start being inappropriate with your fellow passengers, if you start talking really loudly, if you start getting handsy with the crew, then we'll probably cut you off. So it just depends on like the situation and stuff. But in general, if you're fine and it happens to be 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning and you want a beer, we have zero issues with that. We're gonna sell you a beer. Chanel says, when they're stuck up, no smile at all, as if it costs a fortune to just smile and be pleasant. Yeah, that's another one that's a little, it can be tough, guys. It can be tough, because at the end of the day, like, I always try to be the friendliest passenger. I always try to be the friendliest crew member on your flight. I always try to be smiley and chatty and everything with everyone, and I've been blessed to work with like really good crew who are also just like that. But sometimes people have bad days. I got the news about my sister while I was flying, while I was on duty, and the next flight I just couldn't smile, I couldn't do anything, and I dealt with it. I was quiet about it. I was still professional. I was still saying please and thank you. I was still fairly like nice to everyone. I just wasn't as, you know, as I usually am. And I think we can allow people that grace, but at the same time, there's a difference between someone who's going through it and someone who's just rude and just like, you know, for no reason. So, but that's the thing, is also you only interact with them for like 3 minutes, so how do you know which one it is, you know? Yeah, Patty says, when they are unfriendly, I always try to be polite and smile and say please and thank you. Yeah, this one is kind of wrong, because I feel like you should still try to be friendly and polite, you know? And even if you can't be like, hey, at least just be like, thank you, welcome on board, can I please offer you something to drink? Just like simple things, you know, you can always try, because at the end of the day, this is customer service. At the end of the day, we do need to make sure that you guys are happy as our passengers. So yeah. The way they constantly ask you to put your phone off. Oh gosh, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. I'm so sorry. Then Lewo sent me quite a few. She said, when crew disappear after the service and they don't respond to the call bells, which this is wrong. Like, I don't think that this is okay. In our briefings before our flying days and stuff, we actually talk about, and like the senior says, every 15 to 20 minutes can somebody just walk up and down that plane just to make sure that nobody needs anything. And if we hear a call bell, make sure you attend to it as quickly as possible. Like, and it's funny, you know, when people have babies and you're sitting with them and the baby is sleeping, and then suddenly they're like, oh, the baby's crying, I gotta go get the baby, and you didn't hear anything. Like, it's kind of like that for us. We're always on high alert for that specific beep, that specific like chime for the call bell. And so as soon as, no matter how much of a conversation we're in, as soon as we hear that call bell, we're like, who was it? What was it? What do you need? You know, it becomes muscle memory at the end of the day, and it's something we're just so used to. So I think it's kind of like odd that somebody would ignore the call bell, especially because for us it could be like an emergency, so we never want to just ignore a call bell, because what if something is wrong with someone and that's why they're pressing it. So yeah, that's kind of awkward that somebody would just disappear and not even respond to a call bell. During the service, when they just say chicken or beef, rather ask, would you like, may I offer, even if you say it once at every row and not to every individual. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Touching the brim of my cup. Gross. You guys know I wash my hands a lot, especially just before a service. I make sure I wash my hands because I know I'm about to like touch like food and stuff. But the thing with that is no one sees me do that, you know, like the passengers don't know that I wash my hands 25 times in a 1-hour flight or whatever. Okay, that's over exaggerating, but you know what I mean. Nobody sees that, so how can they know that my hands are clean, you know, that it's okay for me to be touching their cup like that? So yeah, it's a little gross if they touch the brim of your cup. Rude flight attendants who are just not interested in working. No comment. And then hearing loud galley conversations from the cabin. It seems like it is the same things that annoy everyone. Yeah, I don't know what to say about the galley conversations. Hey, I think I'm not bad at it. I am generally a very talkative, loud person and stuff, but as soon as I'm in the galley, I'm also aware that there's like people like a meter away from me, so I'd rather like stand right next to the person I'm flying with to talk to them instead of screaming at them from across the galley, you know, because I have been a passenger and I've also overheard galley conversations, and I also don't like it. The majority of passengers are just trying to sleep and get on their way or just mind their own business. They don't want to hear the galley conversations. I don't know, do you guys like hearing galley conversations? I don't. Even if it's like really juicy stories, it's still like, I feel like I'm eavesdropping, and I can't control it, you know. But anyway, so that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and clicking on this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you all on the next one. Don't forget to spread good vibes and be kind. Bye bye.